Now normally I don't do videos like this, not over random news things I come across, but when you take away 2.3 tons of shisha, that's gonna get my attention. Apparently Montreal captured this guy that was selling tobacco products illegally. Now I'm not sure if he just bypassed regulations and taxes, or if selling tobacco is more blatantly illegal in Canada. I don't know Canadian law all that well. Malice Rebel might be able to give you a better perspective of that. All I'm thinking here is that shisha is harmless, but the way they make it out to be, it's like they're procreating drugs, because they talk about the tons of shisha, and you know how they took cigars and cigarillos as well. For those that don't know, cigarillos are like smaller versions of cigars. And this is relevant to me because I've thought about running for state representative. I know some of you might be shocked by that, but I am eligible. And I figure with my infamy online, that could be used to my advantage. And if I were to run for state representative, now mind you, keep in mind that if I was to run for state representative, I do not actually make the laws of my state. That's not how it works. Essentially, the state representatives are the lesser senate. When a bill is proposed, the state representatives talk back and forth, they vote on it, then it goes to the Senate floor, they talk back and forth, they vote on it, then it goes to the president to sign or to veto, and if the president knows what's good for him and wants to get elected again, he won't troll, and he'll sign it, and if push comes to shove, the Supreme Court will handle it, but they're only allowed or have time for so many laws per year, so essentially, that's how it goes. Da, da, da. So, that's what the state representative does. They don't actually make the laws of the state. You would think they would call that the state representative, and leave governors for what state representatives do, but oh well. My point is that as state representative, I would try to attract voters by attracting the smokers, the drinkers, and the people that want to legalize weed. I know a lot of people think I already smoke weed, but I don't. And, you know, things like this don't help that stereotype. Because, you know, they make it out to be weed when it isn't. And weed isn't even that bad. And you're gonna fucking tell me that, you know, fucking regular tobacco is detrimental to people's health and they have to be protected from themselves. We're not talking about fucking meth here. We're talking about tobacco. Get over it. And that is something I would want to bring up. Because you notice the libertarians aren't talking about it. With all their free market bullshit, they aren't talking about, you know, securing your civil liberties to do with what you want with your body. You know, they're not fucking talking about lowering the drinking age and drinking regulations. They're not talking about lowering the cigarette laws, the cigarette taxes. They're not talking about any of that shit. All they talk about is fucking, you know, how they want to bring back segregation and how they want to bring back, you know, being able to discriminate however they want to. They want to turn the real world into the internet. That's what they basically want to do. They want to be able to run their their institutions, their businesses, however they damn well please, and just completely unhampered. And you know, they don't want to be able to have any kind of say by the government at all, which is wrong. Because you know what? It is wrong to discriminate against people. It is wrong to price gouge. It is wrong to monopolize. It is wrong to conspire. But it is not wrong for people to just make personal decisions to fucking drink a beer or to smoke some weed. And, you know, that's where libertarians have no credibility whatsoever, because in things that matter, things that would actually attract people to that demographic, they always fail, you know, to play the part. They may as well just be more vocal Republicans. That's all they basically are, but then they try to act like they're so edgy and cool. So if it were up to me, I would reduce the seatbelt laws. I would, you know, try to deregulate tobacco, deregulate alcohol. And this does not come into conflict with my communist beliefs, because just because I want to collectivize the wealth, I want everyone to own everything, land, production, factories, collectively, does not mean I want to intrude upon you being able to smoke or drink or do what you want to do. It just means that I believe that we can produce better quality, and we can live longer and happier if we collectivize production and ownership. No single entity should own land, property, mass of anything. It should be collectively cooperated with. We should all mutually benefit from it. We should all mutually agree upon it. We should all mutually respect one another's labor and not have class hierarchies. We should not have, class struggles and people telling us how much we get paid and people telling us whether or not we're doing a good job and people saying that they're better than us just because they do something else. That's what we need to get rid of. That's what communism is about. It's not about, just saying no to everything that is market related, because everything is market related. Everything is privatized. So that's a moot point. What I'm trying to get at here is that, nobody represents the smokers, the drinkers, just people that are normal people, just living their lives and choose to do things that are legal. And yet that's not good enough, because that's humanity for you. It's not good enough that they're keeping to poisons that are legal. No, they're not even allowed to do that. But meanwhile, they can fucking have gay people sucking each other's cocks out on the street in a gay parade as if that's hygienic. But a guy can't smoke a cigarette in a fucking bar. So it's ridiculous. If I were to run for state representative, I would want to represent smokers, drinkers, obese people. Yes, because pretty much everyone is overweight, especially in the U.S. And, we try to act like we try to act like fat people are the retarded kid that you stick up in the attic. That's how we treat fat people. But meanwhile, they're fat too. Everybody's fucking fat. And, they're living in denial. And diabetics. There are a lot of diabetics in the U.S. I would go as far as to say 1 out of every 3 people is a diabetic. And if you just think you're not diabetic, you're probably wrong. So you should get yourself checked. Because, trust me, it is that common. And the unfortunate thing is, everyone thinks diabetes is a joke. They think it's a fat people disease. They think it's just something that's blown out of proportion. But you can lose limbs over your fucking diabetes. If you don't take care of that shit, you lose your feet, your hands, your kidneys fail, you go into a stroke and die. It's pretty serious shit. And nobody's representing those people either. The gays can be represented, the Christians can be represented, the women can be represented, blacks, Hispanics can be represented, but yet people that just want to live their life, have a cigarette, drink some booze, relax, those people are not represented. And people that make up the vast majority, i.e. people that are a little overweight, people that have a detrimental illness that they have no control over, but people act like it's somehow magically their fault, that makes up the majority of people. If nothing else, I think I could get 1/3 of the vote by targeting these people. And they need to be targeted, because nobody else is talking about them. Everyone talks about the fucking elderly, but then they want to cut Social Security or raise the Social Security age even more and shit like that. So, it's all bullshit. At least with me, I'm not giving you a pack of lies. If I tell you something, I mean it. And I know that in the political world, they would eat me alive because of that. They would eat me alive because of my blatancy, but it is also my blatancy that is my greatest weapon, because I am not ashamed of the way I am. There is nothing they can do to intimidate me. They're not going to be able to grab some dirt on me and, plaster it everywhere. I don't fucking care. I'm proud of everything that is about me. I'm proud of all my flaws. I'm proud of how much of a dick I am. I'm proud of the death threats I've made against moderators. I'm proud of it all. Because everything I do has a reason. A damn good reason. And what I'm saying here is that this is some bullshit, and it just shouldn't be. And I feel bad for Canadians. What are they going to do with all that fucking tobacco? 2.5 tons. Are they going to burn it? Are they going to resell it and get government revenue from it? Are they going to give it back to the company if they pay a fine or something? it just seems worthless. It seems more detrimental to take the tobacco away and just sit on it rather than do something with it, you know? I don't want private companies to be making that much money anyway. I'm not saying that it's necessarily a bad thing to be taking from the bourgeoisie. In fact, I would go as far as to say you should do it more often. But tobacco companies are not your main priority. Tobacco companies do not run society. And even if they did, they do so in a very limited way. You know, tobacco companies make tobacco. That's what they do. They provide tobacco. It's probably overpriced tobacco. But, you know, people smoke it, and that's it. It's a pretty open-ended deal. Not like, you know, the coal industry, the oil industry, electric companies, mortgage companies, credit cards, things like that. Even the video game industry is more in-depth and corrupt and intertwined with society than tobacco industry. That's why I'm so vehemently opposed to privatized internet. That's why I get sick to my stomach every time someone fucking says to me that they can do what they want because it's their forum. Because, you know what? The internet is integral to modern day society. You do not really exist in the first world unless you have a Facebook, unless you have a PayPal, unless you're on YouTube. And for private companies to just be able to wave their dick around and do what they fucking want? No. So why the fuck are you going after these guys? You know? It makes no sense at all. And, you know, I am a proud smoker, and I take offense to the fact that they're just going to come after these guys because of some technicality, but meanwhile, fucking Google can monopolize the entire internet, fucking Apple can be a multi-trillion-dollar business, Valve can completely monopolize the video game industry by using Steam as a clever way to force everyone to use it as the highway for sailing and to use their Steam program as a medium to play their games and such. Everyone else gets to be the fucking mafia except the tobacco industry, who hasn't even tried to be the mafia since like 1920. So, if anything, I am saying that they should be that way to other businesses. But tobacco is pretty much done. You know, it's 5 feet under, and it's not going anywhere. You know, it's just fucking tobacco. And, I guess that's all I have to say. You know, like I said, I'm trying to get it out there that I'm thinking of starting my campaign to run for state representative, and this is just the sort of thing I would bring up. About how, you know, everyone else fucking talks about freedom and, you know, freedom of choice and how that always leads to the same shit. Sex and abortion. That's the only extent to freedom of choice. What about the freedom to think for yourself? What about the freedom of speech? Yeah, everyone's fucking pro-choice until they say something you don't like. Then all of a sudden nobody's fucking pro-choice. Then all of a sudden, you know, everyone turns into a hardcore Christian conservative when it comes to saying something they don't want to hear, but oh, they're so pro-choice. You know, they're eugenicists. That's what they are. They think old people should die. They think disabled people should die. They think people with mental handicap should die. They think colored people should die. They figure anyone that is a liability should die because they want a perfect race. They want, you know, this super nationalist society that maintains itself and that nobody helps anybody. It's social Darwinism. That's the kind of person that touts pro-choice in that regard. And, you know, I'm just sick of it. And I would run on a completely different platform. And I would try my best to be the Ubermensch of politics. And, you know, this is just one example of that. So, I guess that's it.